The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Oh, the skeleton is still here. Let me move him. Damn it. Well, anyway, we're live. Yeah, right now. And I need to flip your thing over, Mark, because, yeah. Damn it. Damn it, I wasn't ready. There we go. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. With me today is, as usual, Dylan. We are already getting the dementia super chats. This is brilliant. And, kind of returning, we have Splash Dash. Hell yeah. Unfortunately, though, we have to kind of start today's episode with a bit of a sad one. Dylan, you want to break the news? Oh, crap. Yep.
I can do that over.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're just going to start all over again, pretend none of that happened. Can they hear you? Can you speak for a second?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, okay, great. Sorry, let's start that all over again. Welcome, everybody, to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. With me, as usual, once again, is Garrulous64.
I got a different name this time in my introduction.
And today, for our very special guest, we have Splash Dash.
What's up?
We're definitely going to cut that out when we put the edited podcast version out there.
Okay.
But okay, yeah, we're here this time. That's great. Okay, so unfortunately, news-wise, we don't have a lot regarding Sonic, but we do have a bit of a sad one to start today off with. So, Dylan, do you want to kind of lead with that? Because you were the one who told me about this.
Yes. For the first time saying these words on the podcast today. Unfortunately, it was mentioned by official accounts last night rather, that Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and a handful of other manga such as Sandland, Dr. Slump, passed away last week. And it's been hitting a lot of people really hard because his work has been so influential and so inspirational to so many people, not just the people who read or watched his content, but to people who would then go on to make their own. There have been a lot of big names, such as I'm actually really embarrassed. I'm just gonna say Oda, the creator of One Piece, has spoken about Akira Toriyama. There are a lot of voice actors coming out and talking about things, and everyone is just really shocked, and it's very upsetting. It's really difficult to put into words because I don't know him personally and wouldn't have ever crossed paths, but his work has been very important to me. Like, I have very much enjoyed a lot of the properties he's worked on, especially some of the video games that he had a hand in, such as Chrono Trigger and this small little indie franchise you might have heard of, Dragon Quest. One of the biggest things ever. So honestly, like, wherever you're looking, there are a lot of things that are kind of a result of his influence, and it just feels like there's like a very, very large hole, where he used to be. But we can keep enjoying the things he's made, and I think doing that is fundamental in just keeping that memory alive. He's done a lot, and I just want to say thank you to that, and also hearts go out to family and friends and everyone personally affected. It's been very sad to see everyone's response to it, but yeah.
been like all day over the timeline. A lot of people are mourning him and everything like that. Sadly, I can't say I have any first-hand experience with any of his works. I've never read any of his mangas or really indulged much in anime either. And I kind of regret that I didn't do that in his lifetime. But I know it needs to change. Like, everyone's been telling me, Pup, you need to check out Dragon Ball Z. You know, if you like Sonic, you'll like Dragon Ball Z. And obviously, like, the influence of the guy cannot be understated, given, you know, just, well, you can see the inspiration from his works in our own Sonic the Hedgehog, which we talk about all the time, you know? Like, yeah, like, obviously, very big deal, a very big loss to kind of the creative industry, you know? And it's something that, like, Wayne was saying to me yesterday, was it feels like the creative industry has taken, like, so many hits lately between, like, this, the layoffs in the AAA gaming industry and just all sorts of stuff. It's all kind of going south, and yeah, this was just a really terrible thing that we didn't need, you know? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you were. Yeah. No. I've never, like you. I've never really watched or indulged in anything the guy has created, but clearly, his work inspired a lot of people, and that's not something to take lightly. And so it's very sad. Um, but it makes me more like you were saying, more like, oh, I wish I could have checked out some of that stuff while he was still with us. But I guess if anything, though, his legacy will live on for years, decades, centuries to come. You know, he's clearly inspired a lot of people and put a lot of stuff in the world. And I think that will continue to happen. People still being inspired by the stuff he's made and discovering it even after he's gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. No,
I think it is
fully agree.
nice how, like, just everyone, though, including, like, even, like, you know, creative industry people have all kind of come together and, you know, said thank you to Akira Toriyama. You know, just because, again, like, he's made such waves in just, you know, fiction. It's kind of, it cannot be understated, you know? Like, it's crazy. But that is, you know, in a way how he's gonna keep on, you know? But also, yes, 68 is no age for a person to die either. And I've heard that he was still working on stuff as well. So yeah,
the new Dragon Ball series that he was heavily involved in.
So he actually worked directly on the anime as well?
I don't know how much. I know he was involved in the anime up to the point where Dragon Ball GT was coming out. That was not anything he was working on. I believe he was helping with the Dragon Ball Super manga, the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new thing they just announced, Dragon Ball Daima, was it's said to be like he was returning to form for some things and penning a new story, making new characters, stuff like that. And they actually released I don't know if the Sandland game came out yet, but there's also a movie for that series being released, and it's sort of got the same, like, really nice animation going on that previous Dragon Ball movies had. Like it's sort of like the Dragon Ball superhero movie, I think.
Yeah,
sort of like that nice CG.
What would you say is a good place for someone to start on Dragon Ball, Dylan?
The first chapter of the original Dragon Ball, and then just go from there.
Yeah?
I think the original series is fucking awesome. It's so fun, and a lot of people skip right to Z because that's the one that more people know.
I've often been recommended... I think, is it Dragon Ball Kai? Is that one? I've often been recommended to start with that.
Dragon Ball Z Kai is it's like a cut down version of the original Dragon Ball Z, and it cuts out like there's a lot less episodes. It cuts out all the filler and stuff, but the original Dragon Ball anime is very good as well. If you want to watch it, like I recommend that to everybody. It's a great place to start.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Like, and sadly, that is kind of the bulk of the news that we actually have for this week. We don't have any like Sonic news or anything like that. Just that massive downer. And
yeah,
I'm not 100. 100% sure how to even segue into our main topic after that, to be honest. But
Yeah, because
hey, we move. Yeah, we're talking about balls with powerful auras. So because we knew we were having you on the show, Splash Dash, like kind of like something I was thinking about was kind of how you've done like videos on things like all the different homing attacks, box arts and stuff. So I was kind of thinking like it would be cool if we could have a fairly like granular topic within a topic to discuss this week. So I figured we could kind of gather around and discuss the jump balls and boost auras of Sonic throughout kind of the ages, basically. And kind of, you know, what kind of effects we like to see with Sonic and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got 2 tier lists ready to go. Like, so before we get into that though, I forgot to mention this show, as always, is funded by our Patreon. Unfortunately, we don't have any Patreon questions for you today, but like, so how have you been, anyways? Because like the last time you were on this show was over 100 episodes ago. How have you been, man?
Oh my god. Really? 100 episodes ago?
Yeah, you were, I think, episode 10, I think. And now we're on episode 130.
wow.
Yeah, what was that, like 2 years ago?
Must have been 2-3 years.
That's crazy. I'm good. I kind of I haven't really been uploading on my Sonic channel very frequently now, but I it's just the more projects I kind of bring onto myself, the more the Sonic channel is kind of like pushed to the west side. But I'm trying to start uploading on it more, so I'm getting back into my Sonic groove. I'm working on a video. Have you seen? Okay, so I made a video about Sonic Superstars like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And a lot of people on Twitter got really mad at me for saying
Why
that
did
I
you not
thought
like
it was
it?
shit. I think Superstars isn't a bad game, but like for what it is for $60 and the fact that like the multiplayer is completely broken,
I
but
think
it's
that's
advertised.
what I've been hearing
right.
from everybody, basically. Like
That's what I
like,
thought
it's
too. I
not
thought it was,
bad.
yeah,
It's
I thought it was
not
going to
very
be
good.
the most like lukewarm. Like, of course you would say that video
Yeah.
possible, but then I saw all these tweets of people being like, skill issue. It doesn't like this level. It's just because it's like got
Skill
all this.
issue.
Yeah, like
Because of the
but-
final boss, it's actually hard.
yeah, but now I'm seeing people. It's crazy. I didn't think this day would come. I'm now seeing an influx of people saying that Superstars is better than Mania and that Mania is overrated and not that good. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like Mania's great. Am I allowed to curse on here, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no,
of
you're
course.
fine.
I was like, yeah, Mania's amazing. Like, what is this revisionist history where it's like this like nothing like game
It
that
happens
no one
every couple of
cares about?
years, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm like,
Like they go like, "Oh, I love Sonic Forces. It's underrated," and everyone is like, "What are you talking about?"
It's whatever.
Yeah, and
It's whatever the YouTubers say that they're going to disagree with, isn't it? At the end of the day.
So now I'm like, well, like I feel like who's gonna make a Mania review in like 2024? So I might as well just want to make a video reminding everyone that Mania is like fantastic and
It's real
and
good.
that it should not be just because it has reused levels. I don't think makes it a bad game by any means, or makes like certainly not worse than Superstars.
See, I've
Yeah.
got quite so my stance on Superstars is really
It's
weird.
part of the revisionist movement.
No, shut the fuck up, Dylan. No, my view on Superstars is a weird one. There's kind of in a vacuum, and then there's kind of like taking into account a lot of the different factors. At the time Superstars came out, I enjoyed it a lot. It was what I'd been kind of wanting for classic Sonic. But it is one of those things where there's a lot wrong with it. A lot of things that like classic Sonic games kind of had ironed out long ago. Like things like just not being able to see threats and hazards that are off screen and stuff like that. Or, you know, poorly telegraphed attacks or traps and that kind of stuff. Like it's something that the classic Sonic games did quite well to avoid. We saw it slip up a bit more in the Dimps games, and it was frustrating to me to see that return in Sonic Superstars. And also, like back when we had Gilly on the show, he mentioned that the level themes for Sonic Superstars, while they might be kind of original, are still incredibly safe. Like, they're still, you know, just... You can tell which classic Sonic level has inspired pretty much every stage in the game. And it's like, yeah, if you were to make like a Sonic Superstars sequel, you could be like, yeah, this is Casino Plant Zone. And this is, you know, aquatic egg. Or something stupid like that, you know? It's stuff it's already been there, done that for a game that is comprised of classic levels. And it's one where I said in my review of Superstars that I generally prefer it to Mania. Now, I do want to divorce preference from kind of objective quality here. I prefer Superstars on the fundamental basis that it's not about trying to do the old again. It's more about doing a new thing with an old gameplay style. With Mania, I think it's a much better built game. Like, I did a video on, like, Superstars versus Mania, and even though I straight up say I personally revisit Superstars a bit more and do prefer it, Mania came out on top. It's the better game. I think the Mania team did much better with the assignment they had than what the Arzest or the fucking Superstars team did with theirs. It's even down to, like, the art styles. I prefer the sort of the clean CGI look of Superstars to a pixel art aesthetic, but I won't deny that the Mania devs did so much more with that pixel art style than what the Superstars devs did with the CGI, where it's all quite simplistic. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I prefer Superstars, but I think Mania's a much better game.
And that's the thing, I can see completely why. So, like, I don't even think Superstars is that bad, honestly. Like, I played it and I had fun with it and I put it
It's
down,
like
but
mediocre.
yeah, it's one of those games where while I'm playing it, I'm like, whatever. But when I think about it, I'm like, no, fuck that game, really. Like,
I'm kind
because
of similar.
even like on a fundamental level, I'm like, the whole thing is all the adverts are like kids like playing with their friends or like families playing together, and I'm like, the game does not work 4-player. Like, it just does not work. It's not a fun, like,
Yeah, it's
polished
atrocious.
experience.
Yeah,
So
multiplayer is like, it's so
And I
weird
think
as
the
well.
DM
Like, I can't think of any other industry where it's like you can just release a product that doesn't do what it says. It's like if you had a fucking car and it's advertised as, oh, it's got turbo speed, and then you get it, and turbo speed really just makes a little inflatable clown pop out of the dashboard. Like, you'd want a fucking refund, and you'd probably get one
Yeah.
too. Whereas
Alright,
with
don't
gaming,
assume that I would not want that. That's
I mean,
kinda cool.
I would want that.
Imagine
To
springing
be
that on
honest,
people.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if an inflatable clown could come out of the dashboard and it's not an airbag or anything, it's just a feature, I'd love that. I'd be pleasantly surprised, but it's like you advertised me a turbo mode here. Anyway, back to Superstars. The game is highly promoted as, yeah, a multiplayer experience. As a multiplayer experience, it fucking sucks. But then there's
and
just,
I feel like so much of the game though had like it's trying to do like a single player experience, but also suit a multiplayer experience. So the single player experience isn't as good as it could be because they're having to like
Yeah.
make the bosses really prolonged for multiplayer. But when you're playing on your own,
That's
it's
like a new
like
Super
boring.
Mario Brothers issue, too.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
if you played like the first one on DS is pretty fun. It's like pretty cool all around. And as soon as they started accommodating for 4 people, the levels got so like big and fucking empty and boring. Like, it's an issue because like also Superstars I feel is at the same time it feels like it's better as a single player experience, but I do see the stuff you're talking about as well, where it's like there are clear decisions made to make it more multiplayer friendly, even though the multiplayer hardly works.
that's, yeah, it's like the bosses.
So it feels like
It's
it's
kind of a
tied.
mess.
It can't decide what it wants to do. Yeah, and
I
that's my
think
issue with it. Not that I think it's like that bad necessarily.
I think even if you do take like the multiplayer thing out of the equation, though, the bosses are quite a big issue in that game for me. Like, it's one of those things where I think the majority of that game is spent fighting the bosses in the long run. Like, they sometimes feel longer than the level itself. And then it's like you've got Trip's campaign, which is not worth the effort in my opinion, because it's just the normal mode, but with a load of cheaply placed hazards everywhere. And I feel like for me to say that you've got a big chunk of your game, a whole ass campaign, for me to be saying it's not worth the hassle is kind of as bad of a criticism as you can get for like a big chunk of this game, you know? Like, if it didn't unlock the true final boss ending thing, I don't think I would see it as big of a deal if it was just like a little extra optional thing that you can kind of do if you want. Like, it wouldn't bother me, but the fact is, I don't think that final boss is worth the Trip story. And yeah, just the bosses. I find myself playing it on time attack more often than actually replaying the levels normally, simply because you don't have the bosses on time attack. I think with Sonic bosses, like, the problem isn't how long it takes. It's that Sonic bosses work based on how much you can fucking wail on them. You know, even if you look at like the Titan boss fights in Frontiers, they're satisfying because you are just wailing on them. And the thing with Superstars is because it's got that recharge time, you can't do that. You never feel like, oh, I'm really getting this guy, you know? It's one of those things where even if they had like 100 hit points, if you don't have those constant breaks between getting a chance to attack, it wouldn't be as bad, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And even then,
Mhm.
like, you mentioned Trips Campaign, and not to dwell on it too much, because this is the Boost Aura video or podcast, not the Superstars is shit podcast. But why have imagine you're playing New Super Mario Bros. With your family. You have 4 players, you just beat the game, and then it's like, great, you've unlocked a campaign where you can play as like Blue Toad, and that's it, you know? It's like, why would I want that? Why would I want a campaign in my multiplayer game that only one person can play? Imagine the kids like fighting over that. Who gets to play
Yeah.
Trips campaign because it's single player? Like, why?
Oh.
That's my thing. Where it's like, what is the focus here? Why have a single player campaign as the reward for beating this multiplayer like co-op thing?
And then even on
weird.
I
like
didn't think
the
of that.
co-op thing, it's
That's a
broken
good
up
point.
by the character acts. And admittedly, only the Amy one is compulsory. But the fact is, you've still got one single player level compulsory in a game that's advertised as being a multiplayer experience. And it's one of those things where I actually really like those character acts as a single player experience thing. It's just that's that problem is they hinge so much on this in multiplayer. And what's just hilarious to me is how much of this could have been mitigated if the multiplayer were online. Because
Yeah,
then you
for
wouldn't
sure.
have to worry about screen real estate.
That's my thing, is that it was the same thing when, like, I'm pretty sure it was like Team Sonic Racing, where you can always tell when they ask Izuka about like these clear like flaws that the game has on a fundamental level, but he has to like talk about it like a feature. So when Superstars was coming out and they kept asking like, is this game gonna have online? He'd always say, you know, we just really wanted to focus on like everyone getting together on the couch like old times and just hanging out with each other. It's like, no, dude, you couldn't put it in the game. Stop trying to act like it's a feature.
It's stupid because it does have online. You just like there's no like multiplayer story online. It's just a battle mode.
And that battle
Yeah.
mode is, oh, bless its heart. It's Diet Fall Guys, effectively, isn't it? Also, don't worry about getting stuck on the Superstars topic, because this show is fueled by tangents. If we just stuck to main topic, every episode would be like 20 minutes. So it's like, stay for the tangents.
Yeah.
But
You can
like,
say whatever you need to say. You can just get it all out. You know.
I don't think, have you done, you haven't done a video on Sonic Dream Team yet, have you, Mark?
No, I don't think I really want to. I played it and I liked it, and every now and then when I'm really bored, I boot it up because I'm one of those fucking people who pays for Apple Arcade even before Dream Team came out.
Really?
I bought it when I was really bored a year and a half ago on a road trip, so I could play Nickelodeon tennis just because they put Timmy in it. So I was like, oh, I want to see this, and I forgot to cancel the subscription for a year. So Dream Team, I think Dream Team is fun.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, seriously. I think Dream Team is a fun game. It's really short and it's not the most engaging, which is why I don't really care that they're not going to port it to like Steam or anything, because that would just highlight how much of like a mobile game it really is. But I thought it was fun for what it was. It's one of the better 3D Sonic games, unfortunately.
I kind of said it's kind of as close to perfect as I think a 3D Sonic game has kind of gotten, in that it knows exactly what it wants to be, and it does everything that it does well and doesn't have a massive, like, glaring issue to it. Like, don't get me wrong, I prefer Sonic Frontiers. Like, and I'm kind of glad I do, given how much I fucking paid for that compared to this. But, like, Frontiers, as much fun as I have with it, has these very, very, very glaring presentational issues. Whereas Dream Team, I feel like it just does a really nice job at absolutely everything it sets out to do.
Yeah, Dream Team has its like expectations low, or like its ambitions low, but it like achieves those greatly. Whereas Frontiers has super high like ambitions and sometimes just like fumbles the bag at it.
I feel like Dream Team would make an excellent blueprint for like the cyberspace kind of component, though, for like Sonic games going forward. You know, if they're still doing that, I would love
team to work on those.
I'd be more than happy for that team, like especially like the level designers on that team, to jump in and make, you know, more levels like that, because I love that very open sort of style to those levels. I think the closest thing I could kind of compare it to would be kind of Sonic Adventure 1, maybe?
Hmm.
Yeah, in
maybe.
some ways. Yeah,
In
definitely
that
got,
they're
like, a
not
good flow
open
to
zone.
it, like the adventure levels.
Yeah. It's funny also when I like think about like what I want them to do with like the open zone thing going forward. The more I think about it, the more it just ends up being just make big versions of the adventure fields from Sonic Adventure 1, you know? A big station square, give me that. With a train station.
Yeah, the train station's got to be there. How else will you get to the other stages?
Well, that's what I
You
like,
can't
though.
just
I
run.
love that little immersive bit. You don't just go to a menu and select the other place you want to go. You get on a train. That's awesome.
They should actually take inspiration from Sonic Speed Simulator on Roblox for the next Sonic game and have it be to where you have to like run through a mini level to get between worlds.
I like that idea
That's
as
a
well.
great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
I actually really
Yeah.
love
That's
the
like world
idea
building.
that like these I feel like these like sort of open zone things. I'm really hoping they're going to go forward with this open zone thing. I think they are. But like I like the idea that around these islands you've got more than just one NPC per island or location, but I like the idea that you could even expand upon this by having like Tails in like one corner of the location with the tornado, and you can go up to him and he'll be like, hey, do you want to take part in a tornado defense thing to get this collectible? And it's like, yeah, sure thing, completely optional. You fly up into the sky and do like a little Ikaruga mini game thing as the tornado. You get a reward, and that can kind of take the place of like the big fishing mini game or whatever. Like, there's so many. The sky is the limit with the open zone format, I think.
For sure, it is the perfect way they can integrate all these
Yeah,
different like
especially if you have a
varied
plane.
gameplay styles.
Definitely. Like, and yeah, I'm very excited about what's next. I just hope the presentation's going to be better.
For sure.
All right. Shall we get onto this tier list then?
Yeah, do you
No.
want to stream it on Discord so we can see the
I will
tier
do,
list?
yeah.
pool?
That way you can see it in real time. Which one do we want to do first? Do we want to do boost auras or jump balls? One of them is shorter than the other.
Guest's choice?
Let's start with the jump balls.
Okay.
I know they're both terribly interesting. They're the most amazing thing we could probably touch on today.
The thing is, though, I feel like you can actually mine a surprising amount of conversation out of this. And we'll see if I'm right. But I've put together this little jump ball tier list. I haven't included a lot of balls here. But that's because every Sonic game has a jump ball. And I don't want to do every single Sonic game. So I've kind of kept it a little mainline, you know? The fun part is going to be us having to kind of agree on where to put each of these balls. But yeah, can you boys see my screen okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do we want to give
Charles Jam said Pup's blue ball list.
Okay, so first of all, I've kind of like just put the Sonic 1 here, just as our classic Sonic rep, because like they're all pretty much the same from there. What do we think of this? Like, how is that for a jump ball? You know, what does it do for you?
I think it's pretty good. I always liked the Sonic jump balls that kind of give you a glimpse of him actually curled up, which to get to it later, I don't like the modern ones very much just because he turns into like an orb. So I always liked the ones where you can
exactly what I was
see him
saying
curled.
earlier.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because my tastes slightly differ.
We're on the same team.
Like I'm not big into like the energy ball thing, but I like a nice ball Sonic, you know, where you can't really see Sonic in the ball, he just is a ball, you know? Nice stylized thing.
So I think if he's a ball, he's got to look like the movie one, because the movie one at least has like a reason to look like a ball. Like they made him look like a creature still.
He looks like an actual hedgehog that is like curled up, so you can't see like their face
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, hiding his vital organs.
So the general consensus is we do like the classic Sonic Jump Ball.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think it's like a case of perfect on the first try.
Do we love it?
I think it could be improved.
Love's a strong word.
I think I would
I
put it
an
in. A? I'd put it in B personally, but I mean, Dylan, what do you think?
I would give it an A. Because I feel like
A?
there are some that are like F tier, you know, so this is definitely like an A.
It's the one that started it all. Okay, so next up, we have the jump ball from Sonic Adventure 1, where what we basically have here is a ball with 2 Sonics printed on either side, which was a clever way of going about it. And I really like this jump ball. What do you guys think?
I think it's great. I love the Sonic Adventure 1 jump ball. I really like the texture they use. I love that it's like he's kind of blurry, which adds to like the motion of it. Or there's like
Yeah.
motion blur on him. I think that looks great. I love that they really elongate his like if you look at the classic jump ball and look at that, like the texture is basically the same. Just like a modern, like the shoes
Yeah,
are
him in
like
the
stretched
fetal
out a
position.
lot. Yeah, I think like they did an excellent job at translating that to 3D. That's the way you make one where it's like an orb where he's a perfect circle, but it still looks like cool.
They could have sold
Yeah,
these as well.
I love the idea that they like the texture does not stay on there all of the time. It like flashes when he's rolling
Yeah.
and jumping.
Which is kind of a good match
like
for the
you were
classic.
saying, it shows like speed almost. Like it shows like he's going so fast sometimes you just don't even see it. And goddamn, it's an S tier for me.
S tier
That's
for
what
you?
I
I'm
agree.
playing
I agree.
favorites.
You know what? I'm with you guys. I'm gonna say S tier. Alrighty. Okay, so next up,
This is going
we've got
well.
the Sonic Adventure 2 jump ball, where...
This jump ball fucking sucks.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
They all suck except for the other two up there. They're all bad.
I mean, okay, Dylan, what do you think of the Sonic Adventure 2 jump ball?
I actually like this one. It's not that bad.
I feel like seeing it in motion does more for me, because you see him kind of
Yeah.
lean into that jump. He goes from a leap to kind of flipping over, which I do like.
I do like seeing him actually rotating. Like that's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
like I think you lose a little bit of the charm when it's like the 06 or the Adventure 2 one, because it's kind of like I don't know, like they go too far in the other direction. Like now it's too realistic.
The Adventure 2 one is at least still a ball that I can't...
Realistic in air quotes, of course.
Yeah, but
I
like...
don't like how slow the animation is for it. I don't feel like he rotates like fast enough for it to feel like he's like that would have the power to like bust a robot by jumping into it, you know? That's
It's
my
kind
main
of-
issue.
It's kind of more realistic, though. But at the same time, do you want realistic from Sonic?
If
No.
No. Not when he's jumping into a ball, at least. But I think it can go in the opposite direction. I think later on with Lost World and stuff, we're going to see. I think it gets too cartoony. But I think,
Yeah.
Adventure 2 is the opposite for me, where it's too realistic. But it's not bad. Like I definitely wouldn't say it's bad, and I can see why people like it. I just wish him rotating around was faster.
If you asked
the 06
me,
one
I'd...
actually does the same thing, just better.
If you asked me,
Yeah,
I'd put it
yeah.
in A, but like, what do you guys think?
You
It's
can
like
put it in A. I personally disagree, but I can
It's like a
accept it.
B.
What would you say would be a good letter, Mark?
I will be more than happy with B.
B? B.
All right.
Next up, we have Heroes, which kind of does a very similar thing to Adventure 2, but with this little translucent ball around it. I think I could probably guess what you think of this, Mark.
See, obviously I could say that it is like the best jump ball ever in Sonic history, but I'm gonna go and say no, it's not. It's actually not very good. He also doesn't like rotate very fast. I think if anything, this jump ball is too wide. If you look at it, it's not really. Maybe that's just your screenshot, but it never really feels like a perfect circle. It's kind of like wider than it is tall,
Like
and I think
melon
that
shaped.
Doesn't
Yeah.
fit Sonic either. It's not very like snuggly on him. Like if the
No,
idea is
it's-
like he's
it's
meant to curl
wedgy
into a
big.
ball, it's really more just he's curling up and the ball is just a secondary thing.
Yeah, and I think that was intentional because with controlling 3 characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles appear like way smaller on the screen in Heroes. So I think that was a way to make it be like, oh well, you have this like bigger hitbox though, so you can jump on robots and shit. But I don't think visually it looks very good.
So what are we thinking,
Plus,
gang?
jumping into robots in that game just doesn't feel good at all either. It's like
No.
slapping against flypaper.
I'm going against my instinct, but I might have to say it's a C tier.
What are you thinking, Dylan?
Yeah. I'd say C. Actually, I'd even go D. Really. I
Really?
think we need more than just D. I think we need like an F as well.
We
Not for
haven't
this
even
one,
put anything in
but,
D
like,
yet, let alone having an F. But
I know, but I'm feeling negative today.
okay, if you say so. F. It feels weird to have an F
Thanks.
without an E though, doesn't it? Like,
We'll put an
Okay,
E.
you can make an E tier. Yeah, that's fine. I know what you mean though, because a lot of tier lists do just skip E, and it's like, what did E do?
it's so weird, isn't
That
it?
sucks.
All right, so you'd put it in which tier would you put the heroes
I
thing
put in. I wouldn't call it an F personally, but
I wouldn't say F. Yeah, no.
I think
I'd
now
say
that
late
we've got E and F, I think D feels right.
okay.
a D. I think it's all about like the shape, like you were saying. Like it doesn't fit around him properly, like the Generations one.
Yeah, it's not snug, you know?
Gross.
So if you
It's
want
like
to say
not a
E,
big
I'd
pair
even
of
be
pants.
fine with that.
E, yeah, E is I think acceptable because it's making me more frustrated the more I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, fine. All
Get
right,
it off the screen. I hate it.
I yield. No, but this next one's worse in my opinion. This is the 06 one, which isn't even a ball. He turns into a cylinder.
Yeah. Because it's
I do
so lanky.
appreciate that it at least doesn't lie to me like the Heroes one does. Like, the only real difference in this and the Heroes one is just that he doesn't have this ball around him. And I appreciate that they're not lying now, but at the same time, it ain't right, you know? Like,
But do you remember in 06 when you do the like homing attack, he gets like this weird aura that's like constantly spinning around him, and it's like
what
white
Dylan
for
was
some
saying
reason.
earlier.
Is it exactly the
Yeah.
same I said earlier?
But the thing, when you do the bounce bracelet thing as well, that's a bit more like what I think it should
So
be.
weird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got, like,
The bounce
weird
bracelet
purple
doesn't it?
energy, you know, but
Yeah,
he's never had that before.
Just
It's
a very
and they don't
quick boy.
explain what it is. So I think 06 is the worst, honestly. I think
Are we
it's
gonna say
I
F
think
for
it's pretty
06?
bad. I would put like E, but above Heroes.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I mean-
I think it's like, I still think it gets the point across, and he jumps like when he spins. It's like, okay, he's spinning in the air. I like it. Like it's some good somersaults there.
That's fair. Okay, I will say whenever it's more realistic and Sonic is actually like spinning in the air and it's fast enough, it does make him feel more like a cool action hero who's like doing all these cool tricks and shit and flipping through the air. Whereas like
Well, when you
the
word it
Lost
like
World
that.
jump all. So I think okay, yeah, I'll put it. I would put Heroes under it. I can accept that.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Next
go.
up, I've just kind of bundled Unleashed and Generations together for this one. But yeah, we have the jump ball from those games. Which, personally, I think, from a logical standpoint, it's probably one of the better ones. Because that is kind of... It manages to be a ball, but it's also kind of how it would look, if you get me. At the same time, I don't love the way it looks.
I actually
it's-
really like the way it looks.
Yeah, but when it's standing still like that, it looks kind of weird. But in motion, I think that's one of the best ones we've got. Because coming up, we have things like colors and forces. Frontiers. And I really don't like how how much they glow. Because it's like, what the fuck, has he got batteries now?
Yeah.
It's gonna get very
this one-
interesting.
It like the Generations one still has like that lighter color, around it to like imply that he's spinning really fast.
Yeah,
But
I
then
always
these
pictured
other
the
ones
lighter
just go way
part-
overboard.
Yeah, I always pictured the lighter part was like his spikes, like that's the
Yeah,
part that
it's going
does the
fast, like,
damage.
Yeah, because it's moving so quick, it's obviously a more faded color, I guess.
I like that one. I'd even
I
put
like
that
that
in
one a
like
lot.
high B or like low A.
I was
I think
probably
I
going
would
to say
put it
high
in-
B.
Okay, sure.
But I mean, what would you say, Mark?
I would have said low A. I would put it above the Adventure 2 jump, but I would put it I would even put it above Sonic 1 maybe, just because it looks cooler, but I can understand if low A is more than fine.
I think I'd
Yeah,
put
I
it
can grant
above the
low A.
Sonic. I think I'd put it above Sonic 1 too, though.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. All
Shall
right.
we? Shall we? Oh, shall we
Yeah.
go there?
No, I mean, it's got like a good presence to it, and technically, like the classic sprites, they leave like a little bit to be desired compared to the newer ones, but like they're still good. Like you ever play like a ROM hack or something that has like the upgraded rotation sprites? Like when you have that, they look great. Like the classic jump balls.
I mean,
awesome.
I maybe I should have included the Mania jump ball because that is basically just the classic one, but with extra frames, and it looks really nice.
I mean, same deal. It's all good.
It's what it is. So, okay, this is gonna get interesting here. But the next one is the colors jump ball.
This one's fine. Like, it's not the worst in the world. I don't like that he glows, but also I like how kind of tight it is, you know? Like, a lot of these jump balls kind of give Sonic an aura around him, but I like that this one is just like a normal, like, regular ball that has like a texture on it to simulate the spikes.
Dylan, what do you think of the colors?
I don't mind that one, but it's not my favorite.
I
again, it's like the glowing, and also I don't know if that's specifically Colors Ultimate or not, but like it makes me
that's
think
just
of
regular
how
colors.
awful that game looks.
Ultimate forgot to put the little shine at the top of it, so there's just regular colors. Okay. I love this jump ball. It just looks pretty, in my opinion. It's so shiny.
I'd put it, like, C. I think it could be like a first C.
I would
I was gonna say C
legitimately,
as well.
if it were up to me and me alone, it would go at the absolute top S tier right now. But
Ooh.
I will settle for low B. You guys
Okay.
want C, I want like high S. I feel like the compromise would be low B.
No, low
Okay,
B works.
sure.
I think
Okay.
that's a fair compromise.
I would say it's better
This
than
one is-
Adventure 2, honestly.
I would say so too.
Yeah, I think it looks better a little bit. Yeah.
Alright, above Adventure 2.
The next one is an F, or if you could put it lower.
I'd put this one in
preferably.
fucking S tier. It's simple and I like it.
It looks like they forgot to animate it.
Yeah, I can't tell if I like or hate the Lost World one, because technically I think it looks good. It looks great for what it is. It matches the style of the game, and I love the squash and stretch when he jumps, how bouncy he is. But at the
Yeah,
same time,
That's the same.
does that
phrase.
fit Sonic? Does that fit Sonic? Should he be like bouncing around like a Mickey Mouse character? Like a
I
Looney
don't think it
Tune,
fits
you
the
know?
modern Sonic design very well.
No.
I
He's made out of
think of that
plastic.
about a lot of Lost Worlds aesthetic. Is like you put classic Sonic there, he'd look much more at home. But like the modern Sonic doesn't belong there, and I think the modern Sonic doesn't really fit this jump ball. But I must admit, I love the less is more approach. And kind of
Yeah,
how
I
it
like it in
represents.
theory, but in execution, I'm like, just doesn't work for me. Doesn't do anything.
Okay, so I mean, would we say it's like the extreme end of like what 06 and Heroes were kind of doing? Like,
I do
Yes.
low E.
Yeah.
you'd do low
Actually,
E.
you know what? I think I'd put it above the Heroes one, maybe.
You'd put it below 06's one too.
I would put it
Yeah.
maybe. I could see it in D, but if we want to put it below 06, I'm also fine with it.
I
It's
would
tough.
definitely put it
I
above.
think you're right about the squash and stretch. That does look pretty good in movement, but like,
Yeah.
it just feels
I
like
don't
he
think
did a
it fits
spin dash,
Sonic.
and I just feel like I'm a ball on the ground. I don't feel like Sonic, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Okay, so all right. Mark,
Side
did
note,
you
I
say
love those like marble games. If you've ever played those, like Marble Blast
like Marble
Ultra.
Blast? I played Marble Blast Gold when I was a kid.
That one's good. Yeah, that
That
one's
was a
pretty
good
fun.
game. Yeah. So what were you guys saying? So Dylan, you'd put it below 06. Mark, where did you say you'd put it?
I'm fine with it being below 06, but I would personally put it in D if it were up to me.
I can go
Okay.
above those. We can compromise.
I personally would put it in S, but I'm willing to compromise and put it in D.
Okay.
It feels so weird. Okay, I wanted to put it in S, but I'll compromise.
I like
D it is.
when we talked about this topic, like I started thinking about like, oh, what are the various Sonic jump balls? And like I'm driving around, going about my daily routine or whatever, and I'm thinking about like Sonic jump balls. And I was just talking to Pup before this, and I was like, I don't feel like a normal person, because you think about Sonic jump balls, and I can pick up every single one in my head, like it's no problem, but I can't fucking do like simple math. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I hate the Lost World one and the colors one. Oh, it's kind of glowy, but it's and then I was like, why can I remember this so well?
It sounds like you got a case of the autism, my boy.
I am just a big fan. I'm a big fan of Sonic.
So next up, we've got Movie Sonic's little jump ball. I actually used the practical prop here. And it is kind of just this adorable ball of spikes, and I really do like it a lot. I would dare say it would be even cooler if it were even smoother, but what are we thinking, boys?
I like it a lot. I think it looks great. I love that it's sitting next to the Frontiers one right now, and they both do a similar thing where they try to have that like buzzsaw look with all the spikes, but Frontiers has it as like a flat like PNG on them, whereas this actually
like a
makes
gross
it like
thing.
models it. Yeah, and so I think that my only issue with the jump ball in the movie is that it doesn't fit Sonic's design because of how lanky he is. But on its own, like ignoring that, I think it looks great. It's perfect.
Like
I also,
this
I mean,
jump ball makes it seem like he'd be like 2 inches tall.
I
Yeah.
suppose if
Well,
we
sure,
got a... we'd probably have to factor in that whenever we see this in the movies as well, it's surrounded by, like, electric shit. And personally, I don't love it when Sonic is covered in electric shit. So I don't know if we got to factor that into where we're putting this. Like, as it is right now, I love that. But, like, when it's covered in electricity and stuff, I don't love it as much.
Something worth considering though is that I think there are brief moments in the movie where it isn't. I can remember the scene specifically in Sonic Movie 1 where he is attacking what was it, like the Eggman tank, and so he rolls out of it in
Tank
the
thing.
ball and then uncurls. And
Is
it
he
doesn't
not
have
still
any.
covered in electricity in that, though? Or he's, like,
No,
glowing?
Nope, I'll send it to you right now. I'll put it
Okay.
in. Where should I put it in the back rooms?
Sure, yeah. The only thing
Yeah,
I
that
could think of is there's the bit where he's in the attic.
Oh,
when he curls up and tries to hide.
Yeah, that's not so much a jump though, so much as it is. So much as it
Yeah,
is a
that's
rollerball.
thing in this scene. He's like rolling out of it. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but
he is more or less the same thing there. He looks oddly wide in that one image you sent.
Yeah, that's because they actually had to animate him like uncurling.
He's thick and he's plumping. So, okay, I mean, I do like this jump ball. Where would we put it?
I would put it in A personally.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I was gonna
fair.
say, taking into account what we've been saying, like I like it a lot. I think I would put it in S, but I think like high A would be really good for that one.
I'm fine with S as well.
I'm fine with S.
Okay.
Are we putting it above
Is
or
it
below
better
Adventure
than-
1?
Oh, that's
I would say
a good
below.
point. Yeah, below.
Below.
I like
I
both
just
of
like-
these a lot.
Yeah, I like an Adventure 1 though that you can see his shoes. That's like the only thing that edges it for me. Like
Yeah.
it just looks
Oh,
more
that would be
colorful.
so cool.
They could have sold these as like beach balls as well. Like they
Dude,
missed a
I was
trick.
saying, yeah, when the first movie came out, a pillow of that like prop would be so cool.
Yeah, or like even when like Adventure 1 came out though, just like literally print a little Sonic on the side of a beach ball. Like
that would be cool.
I feel
That
like I've
makes so much
seen
sense.
a ball like that.
If
Actually, you ever see there's like the little like circular Sonic, like I don't know what it's called. It's like I think it was a little rubber ball.
Oh, isn't it like a little
Just
stress ball
Sonic,
thing?
isn't it?
And he's like curled up into
Yeah.
a ball. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like there was one that was like a plastic ball I had. It might have been like a Wendy's toy or something. Oh, I think. Hold on.
Have you put it in black room back
This
rooms?
does not look as good as I remember it, but it is funny.
So wait, is this old? Oh, they do a similar thing to that now though.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Funny.
it's like a stress.
I like
It's a
it.
lamp, I think. It's a lamp. They do a
A
lamp.
lamp.
Yeah, they do a little lamp of him
He
curled up into a
glows?
ball.
I hate glows, dude.
It's a lamp. Calm down.
Like in Frontiers.
It's
Bad,
just like
it's glowing.
they released a Sonic lamp, but what does this mean for the future of the franchise? So okay, yeah,
Where
we're
does this fit
finally
into the canon?
here at we're here at the Sonic Frontiers jump ball, which is also it does double up as the Forces one. However, there's a slight difference in Forces in that it's got a bit more of a squash and stretch to when you do the double jump, whereas it doesn't have that in
Yeah.
Frontiers.
In Frontiers, they get rid of that in exchange for having an animation of Sonic actually like it's similar to Adventure 2 where he curls up into it when he jumps.
Yeah. Which I also do like. I would call this very middle of the road.
I think it's shit.
Interesting.
That looks gross. That's disgusting.
You don't like it?
I
oh
think-
god.
I like the idea behind the like obviously you have that awful looking like flat PNG of the buzzsaw like over top that you can't even see in this image because it's flat. But I like the rest of it. I don't know how I would describe it. The little like
Wait,
the rings going
sorry.
around him. Like I think that looks cool, but like that's it.
I was looking at I was looking what Bad Nick Mechanic posted in the back rooms.
Oh.
He just deleted it. Oh, he's gonna make me look crazy. Put it back, Dave. But like, it was like sorry. I looked at that and I took one look and I was like, oh, the Frontiers one. It's not bad, but again, it's like I think like the flat 2D buzzsaw thing just doesn't do it for me. I think it looks bad.
Okay, I think then a fair place where I would put this, given that the Lost World one is in D, I'd probably put it low D, that taken into account. But if you were to ask me in a vacuum, I'd probably put it low B.
I would put it in F personally.
Really? Worse than 06?
Yeah, 06 looks cool. That's like I can at least give it that. Like I like that I'm seeing him jump at the very least. But in a game like overall, I actually have an issue with Frontiers, like its lack of animation in general. That there's no like none of the moves feel homogenized. They all feel so disconnected, and the jump ball only adds to that, where it feels like it's not like I'm jumping as Sonic. It feels like I'm just turning into a ball. Like
I think
that's glowing for
Frontiers'
some reason.
animation can be like epitomized by the Final Horizon character interactions, where they just stand there, not even moving their mouths, but they like tilt their head a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually like to shout out on the topic of Frontiers and animation specifically. If anyone, I can post this guy for you guys because you can see it immediately. But there is a mod in production by, I'm not sure what they go by, but they're Mellow, I believe, and it is a reanimated mod.
I've
is
seen
adding
that.
a whole lot more style and flair to a lot of the animations, and I've been obsessed with how it looks because I think it makes Frontiers look so cool.
I know that one of
So
my
if you want to check that out on Game Banana or something. Just Sonic Frontiers Reanimated, I believe.
One of my moots on Twitter goes by Mimi, I think, put out a video that was like a direct comparison of like Unleashed to Frontiers' animations, and Kishimoto did actually respond to this saying, I get it, I see it, like next game we'll make it a priority to fix up these animations. Given that pretty much everything he said would be in Update 3 was there, that does make me quite hopeful that maybe next one will get animations that are at least kind of on par with Unleashed. I think we can go above and beyond Unleashed these days, but like...
For sure. Yes. It's Unleashed is what, like 15 years old?
Yeah, I will be so impressed. I mean, I shouldn't be, but I will be so impressed if Sega can figure out how to get Sonic's mouth to move from left to right without it snapping. I mean, Hardlight did it in Dream Team.
Dream Team
Yeah.
did it,
Yeah.
Also, saying that there now I bought Unleashed just made me realize that in a couple of years, Unleashed will be 20 years old, which is pretty wild to think about.
Stop it.
It's been 20 years since the last good Sonic game. As some people would say.
Wait, hang on. Where do you stand on Unleashed, Murg?
I think Unleashed is a great experience, but as a Sonic game, like I obviously the comparison always is like Unleashed versus Generations, where like I always believe that Generations is the better game, but Unleashed is the better experience, where it doesn't have the most amazing gameplay ever, and like the pacing's kind of poor, but the story and the visuals and the graphics all like really elevate it. Like it's greater than the sum of its parts. Like when looked at it as a whole.
Completely fair take.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I agree with that. Like, I don't like the game very much. I love the day sections, but as I'm sure plenty of people say, I just can't enjoy the Werehog. It's not for me. And it feels like that takes up like 70% of the game.
To me,
it's a very uneven split.
To me, what puts Unleashed higher up than Generations, even like it's one of those things where in my videos where I've talked about it, I've said like, I think Generations does boost gameplay better. It's a better paced overall gameplay experience. But I think what puts Unleashed above Generations for me is the fact that you kind of build a relationship with the world around you. Like, the places you're running through actually kind of matter because you've got those hub worlds where you can just explore them and you can just meet the residents and... Like, it's so silly, but just knowing what these people eat on a day-to-day basis just does so much for the game, in my opinion.
Forcing Sonic to eat 90 chili dogs to level up.
Well, yeah, there's that, but it's like, you could go to, like, I don't know, like, Holoska and see they sell salmon or some shit, and then you feed it to Chip, and Chip's like, this is fucking disgusting, and, like,
I want ice cream.
when I'm running through Holoska, I'm just like, yeah, he fucking hates that salmon, doesn't he? You know, like that just goes a long way for me. It's like an immersive element, you know. It's world building.
Sonic World Adventure has good world building. That's good.
It's one of those things where it's like if you took Generations and had it so that each of those little places had their own little hub world, and like Green Hill had like a little store that sells like Green Hill specific goodies, that would tip it over, I think. And also if it had a good story and, you know, a cool opening cutscene, that would also go a long way. But okay, this fucking Frontiers jump ball then. All right, so Mark fucking hates it. You're not fond of it, are you, Dylan?
It's fine. I think I feel like C tier would be really good. Like I think that's like a funny enough. There's nothing there yet, but I feel like it would be perfect for C tier.
Okay,
Sure.
so you want C tier. Mark wants F tier. I don't fucking know. Because fucking, I think the Lost World one is better, so I inherently would put it below Lost World, even though I personally think B or C is more or less deserved. So we kind of got to find a middle ground.
What if you moved Lost World to C and put Frontiers in D?
How would we feel about that, gang?
Yeah. No, I feel okay about that. That makes me like I'll sleep well at night tonight knowing that.
In the grand calculus of this whole thing, that feels right to me. Well, there we go.
Here we
We
go.
got ourselves a Sonic Jump Ball tier list.
Yeah, it's a little guy standing there. Look, see. It's
We
like
took a lot from this. Dylan, do you have a PowerPoint
went
for
well.
us this week?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Piece of shit. All right, then. Well, we'll move on to boost auras next.
My pay's gonna get docked.
So for boost auras, we've actually got quite a bit more here.
My God, yeah, there's way more than I thought.
Yeah, I hauled ass on this one.
God, so many of them are so similar though.
Now, I was very enthusiastic about the boost auras because I've got thoughts when it comes to boost auras, and I mean, look, less Sonic games have a boost in than balls. You know, if I had all the balls, then like this would be a fucking very long tier list, and you have so many matches. Whereas this is more interesting to me. I don't know. What do you like? What do you guys think? I don't know.
I think we're gonna be saying a lot of the same stuff over and over for each.
I
of them.
don't know though, because we got quite a diversity here. Like this is not like this, you know. Like
I guess right off the bat, I think Rush, both of those Rush ones are like super S tier, like S plus. Those look fucking awesome.
what say you,
Yeah,
Mark?
I agree.
Both
I
S
think it looked great.
I think this
Yeah.
one looks like a fucking Christmas tree, and this
Also,
one.
the first boost.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give it. I like how it explodes from this bigger fucking boost here, like an actual Sonic Boom.
Yeah,
That's really cool, and I do like how
Boost, it makes me
stylized
feel like
it
I'm
is.
running.
Okay, so just straight off the bat, S tier for the Rush boost.
For sure.
Then we got Blaze's boost.
Blaze is there too.
I feel like a Fire should be brighter than that, though.
I'll excuse it because it's on the DS screen. You know, like they can't go as crazy as they might have wanted to.
So are you both just in agreement? S tier for the. I want to put the Blaze one in like A.
I would personally put it in A as well. I
That's
don't
fine.
like how much bigger it is.
Democracy won the
It's
day.
interesting to me that they're not the same. Like because of the fact that like they're kind of like dimensional counterparts, right? Like that's what people say. They're pretty much just alternate dimensions versions of the same character. I'm surprised they didn't just give her like a purple regular boost. So that's why I like it, because it's like unique.
I guess
Yeah.
they did at least do something interesting with it. So the next
But
one,
anyway, yeah, I'm fine with it.
the next one we got is Unleashed, and the boost is different in terms of its
It is.
appearance. It's wider for definite. It's a little less bright. It's more kind of like speed lines going on screen. I think there's a little white circle that pops out of it as well, which I like.
I like the idea more of, instead of Sonic using like a bunch of energy for boosting, I kind of like the idea of it being just him like kind of locking in and going faster, and so the boost is more of like the wind like coming off him.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
kind of like
kinda
he's breaking the speed
Yeah.
barrier, I guess.
So I do like that about the Unleashed one on the Wii, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it just looks kind of dinky, you know? It doesn't look that special
Yeah.
or that cool.
It seems like they wanted to do more with it. Like, it's almost missing some stuff. Like, because if you look at the HD one, it seems like they have the lines there as well. They're just like a lot more focused, right behind like the initial. I don't know what else to call it.
This one is. It feels more like he's breaking an atmospheric barrier though, because it looks like there's like a wall of air in front of him that he's just tearing through. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one's
no,
kind of hugging him. I prefer the unleashed boost effect to the HD one. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I prefer the visual effect of unleashed here.
Really? I actually don't agree with that.
Just for the basis that I kind of laid out in that, it looks like there's this wall of atmosphere that he's just bursting through.
No, I
that
see
is
what
cool.
you're saying. It's just I think the other one looks better. I think I like the less is more for that as well, though. I appreciate it for what it is.
So okay, so where would we put Unleashed's boost in this tier list then? Like maybe B or something?
I'd give it a B. Yeah.
I think it would be a solid like mid tier basically.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is interesting. Like, okay, the boost is what got me back into Sonic when I was younger, and I do love that function. I'm not actually fond of the way it looks in those seminal 3D boost games. I think it's just a bit much.
I know what you're saying when you say it's a bit much, but I like it. I think it looks really cool. It's harder to kind of. I'm not as big a fan of the idea of it being some kind of like energy that he's using, whereas like you were saying, the Wii one kind of having that idea of him breaking through like
he's just
the sign barrier is cool, but it just looks cool in the HD version and Generations. That's what puts it above it for me. It looks better.
So, okay. Personally, I'd probably put it low B, but I'm guessing you guys want to put it maybe A or high B, or...
I would put it in A.
I would put it in A, I think. And I'm fine with like high B or low A, yeah.
Yeah.
High B or low A then? Oh, okay. This is
I mean, also, this is different because, I mean, it's weird that we have a Shadow boost and a Blaze boost on here, and then no other character. Well, actually, there's a Knuckles.
We have a
as well,
Knuckles.
I think, right?
We have a Knuckles boost.
It's hard because, like, I like that Generations and Unleashed boost, like, a lot, but I can't compare it to the Blaze one because it's different, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I mean, yeah, I would probably say I like it better than the Blaze boost. I'll put it high B. I guess. That feels like a good compromise. So next up, we have the colors boost. And obviously this picture's not really doing it much justice. This boost was clearly intended to have been seen from the side, more so than as a 3D element. Because as a 3D element, it looks a little strange. Whereas from the side, you get like the spikies coming out of like Sonic's feet. And of course, it does change colors, cycling through all the colors of the rainbow. As a 2D effect, I actually like it a lot more than the other boosts on this list, but it's hampered by the fact that a small chunk of Sonic Colors is a 3D game, and it doesn't look very good in 3D, especially when jumping as well. So it's a struggle for me, because on one hand, in 2D, I like it better than any of these boosts here, but it's not very versatile.
Yeah. I do like the idea of having a boost that instead of obscuring Sonic in some way, it shows instead how fast he's moving by how he like reacts to the ground. Yeah, and I think more more Sonic games should have that. Like I wouldn't have even minded it in Frontiers maybe. I think that game should have had way more stuff of Sonic being reactive to like the stuff around him.
Environments.
But and I like it for a game called Sonic Colors. It works well in context with the colors look great.
Colorful.
But it just doesn't look that cool or fast. It doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make him look like he's going very fast to me. That's my only issue with it.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same camp basically. I think you're right, Pup. I think it looks really good in 2D, and in some instances, like I think on rails it looks really nice because it's like I don't know how he's doing it, but he's just like flying forward on these rails, you know?
Yeah, or if you're like looking at him from like
it is a little
behind,
weird, especially from like the back. Like it looks very strange.
I think from the front it looks.
But
the
it
weirdest.
also he's like displacing air around his legs when he's running, which I thought was cool. And it's also unintrusive.
This would
You know, like,
also
yeah,
look
it's
really
not
cool
that
on.
bad.
If he ran on water, this would also look really cool.
That would be a good idea.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I feel like whenever he runs on like rough
Yeah.
terrains, it would be so cool if like the boost effect kind of changed to this or something. That would be like sick.
Yeah, we can just text Kishimoto and let him know.
Yeah. Hey Kish, you got a budget now, right? Like, can we have that?
Not even on a
okay.
fird name basis. We're just Kish.
The good Kish.
I'd probably put that below Unleashed.
Below Unleashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I'm
put it
fine
in
with that.
D. I'd put it like low B or high or C.
I think low B's fair. Any other thoughts, Mark? Low B fair?
No, I agree with that completely.
Okay. So next up we have Sonic Dash. So we're getting a bit granular
That's the
here.
same as it's like the same one as what do you call it?
Unleashed HD.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, it's a little more subtle.
Yeah, it's like a little more transparent. Does it
I mean-
change color with each character in Dash?
Yes. In fact, the
Yeah.
whole aura kind of changes as well. If you're using one of the more recent characters that's been added, like, I don't know, like Sir Percival or whatever, they have a big streak behind them as well when they run, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think the new characters are using the biases of whoever's like added to Force's Speed Battle, which has that like slightly different style for
yeah.
the dash. I know Force's Speed Battle has boosts that are much more similar to the boost in Forces, where you have that like streak behind you.
Yeah.
But I prefer this one honestly than the one with the streak.
I do like that. It is very similar, but it is like more subtle. I like that. I'll put it above Unleashed.
I'm still having a hard time because it does look more subtle than Unleashed, but it also kind of looks more shitty, and that makes a lot of sense because it's a mobile game and all, but like...
Yeah, I'm gonna
I would
turn the
put
game on
it-
right now and see what I feel about it.
I could maybe even see it being under colors.
I guess fair enough. Execution is everything. So, Dilnor, you think a high B and Mark
I would be
low
high
B?
but I'm okay with low B.
Yeah, I think low B.
I think low B will help me sleep at night. All right. Next up, we've got Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, where he's kind of doing a best of all worlds here thing, really. Like in that he's got this big streak behind him, like in Forces, but then he's kicking up all this dust and shit, like in Colors, which I think is kind of cool.
I think it looks great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that the streak also has the red at the bottom too. Like I think that
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, I didn't even think
Good
of that.
attention to detail, and I bet it looked really good on the 3DS itself, like with the 3D feature on.
Can vouch it did look pretty cool. I dare
I
say
appreciate it.
I would put this at the top right now. Like,
Yeah, I would maybe agree.
I think it reminds me a bit of the other ones, but like it makes like it feels like he's going really fast, you know, like without having like all this shit in front of him, like all that weird energy.
yeah. Would we go so far as to put it above Rush?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say no personally, just because I like how cool Rushes is, and I think that Sonic Boom effect really adds a lot. But I'm fine with putting it above Rush though. But I personally would
No,
put it under.
I think I'm with you on that. I think Rush just has such a good visual identity to it. that
Yeah, it's one of those
difficult
things
to
where
beat, you know?
if this boost in Rush rocked up in like a game like Frontiers, it would look stupid. But in Rush's own art style and everything, it looks amazing. So all right, okay. I personally,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
fair.
a bit more of a less is more kind of guy, so I would have put it above. But like, I think Democracy's won the day on this one. And then we have Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom, which, what the fuck even is this? This is just a big
Yeah,
red
that's
ball
trash.
around it. Red, blue. I don't even know what
I
fucking color it is.
love the game. The game is great, but I think that looks like shit.
Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom's gameplay is actually so good. But, like, what is that boost?
I like how he's stepping out of it, like he's like outrunning it, like they couldn't program it to like fit around
That's
him.
actually such a cool idea, though. He's outrunning his own aura.
That's actually kind of badass. You're right.
Yeah, that's...
But it looks like shit. So,
S?
yes.
I
S
guess...
because of what it represents.
Do we want to add an E and an F to this as well, or?
Yes, I think we should.
Might as well, yeah. I think that could be bottom of the tier list so far. I don't know if I'd put it in.
I
me
wouldn't
look at
say
the other ones.
F. I think I'd say E is actually quite fair.
I think E would work because I think like the worst one I'm already looking at. But yeah, we'll get there.
E.
Yeah, E.
Yeah.
It's a really mediocre one.
I don't love the fire and ice
Just put
boost
one on.
effects as much
Oh,
as...
it's fire and ice. Okay.
Yeah, so we got the fire one and the ice one. The ice one actually
Yeah.
doubles up perfectly fine as a regular boost, but the fire one, like, it's situational. It works for what it is, but I don't love it.
Yeah,
think-
I agree.
I think this is gonna sound a little weird and hypocritical, but I think the fire one and the ice one, but the ice one especially because it looks like a more normal boost, it looks really awkward because like the glow is not like in this picture specifically, that glow does not like encompass him in a normal shape.
It
Or,
looks
like,
kind of
his
like an
face.
You know what
image
it is?
pasted behind him.
Yeah, behind him. Yeah.
Also,
Like, it's
the
weird. I think that looks really awkward from
the
this
light
angle.
emission from the orange boost effect kind of gives Sonic a bit of a green look to him, which I don't like. So
yeah, I think like I like that game, but
I love the
boost
game.
stars are very weak.
yeah, I think Fire and Ice is a fantastic game, but like, if we're just talking about these as just boost auras, then like, I'd probably say
Flame.
for this flame one, maybe D tier. I don't know. It's not as pathetic as the Sonic Boom 2, Sonic Dash Fuck Boom, whatever. It's not as pathetic as that, but it is a bit crap, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd put the fire one above Boom too, but the I'm so torn on the ice one because I really like the blue trail there, and it's reminded me of the one we just put in S tier. But
I wouldn't say it's
the
anywhere
gold
near
one
as good as...
fucks it up so bad.
Yeah, like, the thing with the, like, you've got the red, you've got him kicking up bits of dust in the Shadow Crystal one, whereas in the Fire and Ice one, we don't have any of that. Like, so I'd still definitely put it quite a ways below. Okay, so I think Flame one, shall we put it in, like, D? Or maybe E?
I would say D for the fire one. I think that one looks pretty good.
Any
Or, like,
objections, Mark?
Better than the other one.
No. Yeah. I honestly think so lowly of them that anywhere on the bottom half I'm fine with. I don't like all the bottom ones like Boom Dash 2 and the both Fire and Ice ones. I think just both look so bad that it's like any of them interchangeable. Just all terrible.
I'd probably put the Ice Boost in C myself. What about you, Dylan?
That's fine. I would either do above the fire boost in D or it can be C. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do high D. Next up, we got the Forces Sonic Boost. Kind of hot take. I do actually like this quite a bit. It's more cartoony. It's like a more cartoony version of the
Reminds
Unleashed.
me of the Rush one a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a meeting
Shape
halfway
coming off of it.
of those two. And I do like this big air distortion thing that comes off it when you first activate it. Like these big air rings here you can see. I
Okay.
also quite like
I
the
would like that if it didn't happen every time. Because when
Yeah.
you're playing Forces and you keep mashing the button, it keeps happening and it looks fucking terrible.
The other thing
Fucking sending disruptions through the world.
The other thing I'd say is Sonic doesn't feel fast enough while boosting to warrant all this. Like with
I was gonna say, yeah, I feel like the effect they have where the white streaks come on and that like kind of Sonic Boom effect is there to like make up for the fact that he's so fucking slow.
it's one
It's,
of
like,
those things where
silly
even
looking.
just reduce, even just like pulling out the field of vision a little bit could go a long way in like making him feel faster. But yeah, it's like those white lines are doing so much legwork to try and tell you, look how fast he is. When it's the thing is, I like this animation quite a bit. I like how cartoony these streaks look. They kind of look like stars, which I quite like. And I like the big blue line that he leaves behind him. At the same time, it doesn't match the gameplay very well. So, while I like the way it looks better than the Unleashed HD one, I think the Unleashed HD one is much more believable.
I think a C.
I
believable.
also think
This is what
I
he would
also
do in real
personally
life.
think the effect itself looks like a fruit juice commercial. You know, it just looks. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like when in Sonic Lost World when you push the fruit into the blenders and it shoots out like the juice
Oh,
that you have to ride in. It looks like that to
yeah.
me.
All right. I see what you mean.
I can't. That side of the yeah, I gotta be
The
consistent here.
juice boost.
So juice boost. Are we okay with like C or any other
Yeah, I'm fine
ideas?
with
That-
C.
I think C is a good place for you.
Does Shadow go in the same one? Because it's the exact same thing, just colored orange.
I feel like it makes more sense for Shadow though, like because he's like got loads of like energy and shit that Sonic doesn't. So like any kind of boost for Shadow is immediately more justified.
Can I throw out like a? I know we're not talking much about the animation of the character. It's more so the boost aura. But I fucking hate it when they just make people like float like that, or like think about like Smash Brothers. Like, you know how so many of the characters just like you go to run like and they just do like a little floating animation across the ground, like
Yeah.
Sora and Cloud, and like a lot of people who naturally just walk usually, but they just make them float. That's just a huge pet peeve for me. Like, it makes sense for a character like Silver, because he's not as fast in the other games, and like you might think, okay, he's using his little powers and shit to go a little faster. But Shadow, unless they explicitly show it being the jet boots pushing him forward, I think him floating along the ground just sucks ass.
Yeah, there really is no
takes
reason
away-
for it.
This brings me back to kind of an issue with the Supersonic of old, I guess, the pre-Frontiers Supersonic or pre-Final Boss Supersonic, is if you're going to show the character levitate, let me fly as them. Like, let me go higher, you know? Like, but Shadow can't do that,
Yeah.
so I kind of...
Also,
I kind of-
Shadow, we're losing out on the skating. You know, like that's
Oh,
like one
yeah,
of his
like-
best features.
And you could still have him just skate at a usual kind of speed while still going that fast and having that aura emanating off of him. It doesn't have to, like, start moving his legs ridiculously fast, because that would look stupid.
That's what a lot of mods do. They have him still skate, and it looks awesome. Looks great. But the aura itself is fine. I think it's the same as the Sonic one, basically.
Would we put it above the Sonic Forces Sonic one?
I would put it under personal. Well, see, I'm letting my bias of the animation itself come in. No, even then, I think it looks worse. I think it's worse than the Sonic one, personally.
Like,
I wish it was red.
captures the eye more. You know,
I wish
like
it was red,
it
though.
should have been like red. I think that would make sense.
I also just think it
Um,
obscures Shadow too much. Like, you can barely see him there.
You're right. You're completely right. Now that you mention it,
You
yeah.
can barely see his lack of animation.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd say under forces. I'd even do D, honestly, like high D.
Yeah, for sure.
ID. Come on, there you go. You know what? Maybe even below ice.
High D, my favorite fruit juice.
Would we? I mean, would we put the ice boost above this?
I wouldn't
No.
personally.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this one here, the Frontiers basic boost, I'd fucking put that top, absolute top, tippy top, because there's no fucking aura on it. You just see the occasional bit of wind go off of him. I love that. I am like such a less is more kind of guy when it comes to Sonic boost effects. That like, I remember the first time I saw that little gameplay reveal and saw he was boosting, but without that, I was like, oh wow, cool, okay. And I think it also makes sense for the gameplay mechanic because this boost is non-destructive. Like, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a good way of telling the player you are not protected by a big bubble of blue energy, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if they had given him the big bubble and it still didn't hurt enemies, I think that would be really weird.
Yeah.
As it is, like the way it is now, I think that it's fine, and I think it's really hard to say, like, oh, I put that in C tier because there's nothing there. You know, like
yeah,
that's
see-
why I'd put it in S.
See, I can see both those perspectives where I'm kind of like in the middle where I can completely... I like the idea of him not having an aura and instead having a wind effect to show how fast he's running without having some like weird superpower thing attached to it. But I also think that the animation itself for the Frontiers run is just kind of shit. Like he just kind of goes into a static pose. And I'm fine with either. I'll let you guys like decide among this one because I could completely go either way.
So, yeah, I'd probably...
I'm a fan of having an aura, but also I do like the approach they did. But that being said, I did use a mod in Frontiers to add an aura back to the game. So, like, I guess it's not my favorite idea.
But boosting Sonic also in Frontiers is not fast enough to justify an aura, in my opinion. They've slowed him down quite a bit in that game, which I'm okay with. I think it was for the best, but, like, you can't justify an aura when he's running at that speed. I don't know.
I don't know, I'm not a scientist, Pup.
You don't have to be. I mean, it's like the fucking Forces one. I see this aura around him. I'm like, you're not going fast enough for that, you know?
I'm fine putting it in S.
I'd put it in S.
Maybe A, IA.
I would put it above the Rush one, personally, but I feel like the Rush one and that are two opposing ends of the same thing, in that, like, this Rush one here, you've got this big burst of wind, you've got another burst, you've got a streak, you've got these. Like, it's so very aggressive, whereas this is the least aggressive boost we've ever fucking seen.
He's just running around, having a good time.
Would we say it's maybe just fair to put it below the Rush one, maybe?
Yeah.
My heart would want to put it above, but, like...
I don't think they should get to go above the Rush one just for not really doing anything. That's
yeah.
You know?
But that's what I like about it. Like,
I know it's tough because it's a preference thing, you know, because it's not like a bad visual either way. So now it's like, okay, that's why it's tough to class some of these, because it's like some of them are like, oh, that looks bad. You know,
well, how
like
do you guys feel then about it going above the Shattered Crystal one?
I honestly like that more, the Shattered Crystal.
I like that more too.
You like Shattered Crystal? Okay, all right. Democracy's won the day.
I think it's got style, you know.
Kind of reminds me of Pepsi as well.
Dude, I love that it's a blue line with a little bit of red at the bottom, and I'm like, yeah, that's an S tier. That's
and he's
good.
kicking up little bits of dust as well.
Yeah.
So next up we have the Super Boost from Frontiers, which was clearly movie inspired.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I like the electricity thing, but the effect itself looks nice. You know, it's not that intrusive. It's fine.
Whenever I got the Super Boost, I would go and get myself hurt so I could go back to having the regular boost. I find... Look, I love the Sonic movies, don't get me wrong, and I think it works for movie Sonic, but I feel like electricity and super speed always being associated with each other is such a dull idea now, you know? And Sonic he's the wind, you know? Like...
I feel like they're trying to change that. Like with the movies and stuff, they're like, now he's the electrical outlet.
But something I just think is really cool is, like, you know, you see Sonic and Surge fighting in, like, issue 50 and stuff, and Surge has all this electricity propelling her everywhere, and Sonic has all this wind propelling him everywhere, and I just think that looks really cool. If you make Sonic electrical too, it's kind of, he's another electricity speedster. You know, he's another Flash. I don't know, like... I think for what it's trying to do, it's fine, but I don't love Sonic being represented by electricity. At least for games.
I would really take it or leave it. I don't have any preference.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mark?
I think it should be like B or C. It's just like fine. It's whatever. I would put it maybe low C.
Low C? I think lower than Forces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rocket Boost.
Yeah, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Did you not play any of the cyberspace stages in Update 3?
Final Horizon?
I think I missed a lot of them, because I know I played like one or two of them. I didn't realize they were like a full set, and I didn't know they were all different.
No, yeah, no, you get like...
I know, I'm sorry.
And yeah, two of them, you've got these little green...
A rocket?
Yeah, you get green canisters that give you this thing called Rocket Boost, which is faster, it's uncontrolled, so you can't, like, take your finger off of the, and then it stops. Like, it goes for as long as it does, and, it's also got offensive capabilities, too.
I wish I knew what he was saying.
Oh, is that happening for you, too?
That was happening to me, too. Okay, I just heard, like a syllable every so often.
This whole podcast, I've been like, my internet's really fucking up today.
Do you want me to try it again?
No, this just happens sometimes.
Am I still bad?
I think the other day we actually lost the stream went offline for a few minutes.
I'm still bad, aren't I?
Some internet issues.
Well,
okay,
yeah,
is this better?
The stream 9, they can still hear us. Weirdly enough. Oh, he's
hear
still
us?
talking too. They can hear us on the stream, and I can hear him talking on the stream. But
Interesting.
That's so
we just
weird.
can't Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, all right, there we go. Discord
Okay.
was just having a little moment.
All right, let me try that again. Then. So there are 2 cyberspace
I'm glad it
stages.
wasn't just me. I always like hear that stuff where it's like,
There
It's
are
like, oh yeah.
There are
Nice.
2 cyberspace stages where there are these little green canisters around that give you a rocket boost. It's a faster boost. It's a boost that is not controlled by the player. Like, you could turn it and stuff, but he's just going to boost once he gets one of those canisters. And
It's like an auto run.
it's like an auto run, and it also has offensive capabilities. So you can run into like a motor bug, and it will smash when you hit it. So it's a cool
I
feature.
can't tell what the effect is. Is it like it's like an
It's just fire.
orange energy wave, or
It's
is
just-
it? Oh, it's
it's-
fire.
Yeah, it's fire. He's on fire.
I mean, in this picture, it looks awful.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I don't think it looks that cool. I don't even think it counts as a boost aura for Sonic since it's a power up. I think it looks like shit. There's kind of like it looks like they just kind of recolored the Forces boost. But it's somehow
Yeah,
looks
that's
worse.
like low. That's like bottom.
I would
If
put
anything,
it.
like E minus.
I would put it above the Fire and Ice Sonic boost. The Fire and Ice Fire
Yeah?
boost.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that-
feel like the Fire and Ice one does a better job at like visualizing what's happening. Like I think, obviously, if I was playing it, it'd be different. I think, but like in
I feel like if you were to
picture form-
see the full picture, maybe that would help.
let me look at it. Hold on, I'll find
Okay,
a video. This is important. I need to know.
should we just like...
Rocket boost. Let's see. Oh, it's in the Honeycomb Highway stage.
It's... It
oh, you
leaves
know what?
a
I
really...
did play this level. Okay, I forgot about this.
It
was
leaves
that
a
on the
really
mark-
long trail.
Yeah, I don't think it looks very good, honestly. I think it looks weird. Like, it looks like a thing they've just, like... Yeah, no, that's bad. I don't like that. Stinky.
Alright. So, low D, E, F, like, what do we want?
I'm thinking F maybe.
If it is.
I think, because, I mean, you see the Sonic Dash 2 one from the back most of the time.
It's not as pathetic
like, I
as the
think-
Dash 2 one.
Yeah, it's not as pathetic, but I feel like this like fire boost doesn't look good at all with him. Like it doesn't mesh well, and then like the fact that the background is all like the same color as the boost, like oh, like I'm gonna throw
it's
up. That's
kinda
awful.
gross. This, okay, so Knuckles has a power-up where he gets like a secondary boost, which causes him to turn into a drill.
Real boost.
Yeah, the drill boost. F, I would say, for this. Fucking
Yeah, it's a-
F.
I like the idea, but yeah, in execution it doesn't look great. So does the Amy like where she's
Oh,
like
the-
riding on her hammer, does that count as a boost?
I don't count that because in universe that's like a
Fire
vehicle,
boost.
Okay, sure.
and it doesn't like
Yeah,
control the
this-
same as a boost
Knuckles is
either.
a transformer now. He turns into a drill.
I wish they gave us
Yeah.
like a toggle for those super boost abilities as well, because it sucks when I just want to run around as Tails and then suddenly I get the tornado.
Yeah, for sure.
I just didn't unlock that ability. I decided not to.
The thing is, it's good to, but like you don't want it all the time, you know? Like,
Yeah, I
I
would say
think
yeah.
this one would look better, yeah, if the animation or the model of his like drill thing was better, but it just doesn't make sense. Why is he drilling like through the air? How is he propelling himself? It's dumb.
yeah, if it was like a borrowing thing, then maybe, but like, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that like ring of fire behind him. That's kind of cool. But that it looks really out of place too, like with the rest of the boost cloud.
So are we
Yeah.
gonna say F?
Yeah, I'd say that's worse than the rocket.
I'd say so too.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the worst one we got.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then we got the
That was
Dream
one I was
Team.
talking about earlier when I said I was looking at the worst one. This one I don't really understand the color choice. Like I guess because it's like dreamy and like the color palette of the game kind of like leans more towards
Yeah, I
like, that
mean,
more
it's
purple dreamlike feel.
it's meant to be like a one size fits all kind of thing, isn't it? Because like they all have this boost.
Yeah. It's not like that bad, and I like that you can still see the character models because I do think they look really good and they animate nicely. But I miss like the specific color boosts for all of them.
Yeah, I think this is meant to be kind of like them using the like the dream like orb
dream
power, because
power.
don't you pick up a canister? No, you pick up like little electricity things for the
Yeah, you
boost
get
in
the
that game.
dream orbs,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
the
it's like a
energy in
different
them
thing.
is these colors.
Yeah, which I think like it's neat to have a boost that is meant to tie into the game's like story in some way, but yeah, just in general, like
Hmm.
it's a little big.
It's yeah, it's. I would say I don't think it's bad. Like I would probably put it again like somewhere low middle.
Yeah, I'd maybe just put it like high C.
I see
Yeah,
fruit
I think I
punch.
do like it a little more than the Forces one, honestly, because it feels, for what Dream Teams is, like it feels like you're going fast, and the effect makes me feel like I'm going fast. It's a
I
Yeah.
good
I,
one.
thi- I think I prefer the Force's effect to this, but I think I am outruled on that one.
I'm fine putting it mid C.
Yeah, me too.
That's fine with me.
Middle C?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm fine putting it before Forces.
Well, there we have
Or
it. That's
we
the
did
lot.
it.
That's the boost door. It's done.
Now
We
point
nailed
and
it,
laugh
boys.
at those ones in the F tier. What were you thinking?
Yeah, they are quite bad. I think the rocket boost thing does still work for what it's trying to do, but like as a boost aura, it's just fuck ugly. E is just bless your heart. Like,
It looks like a high school first game project, like Boost.
yeah, it's one where I feel sympathy for him while I'm making fun of it, you know?
He's got like a GoFundMe. My boost is all fucked up. I need your help.
It looks more like a shield, right? Like,
It looks like it wouldn't protect him from anything. Which it doesn't actually in the game.
because it's
Well,
kicking out
actually,
of
no,
it.
it does. When
That
you
foot
boost,
is
it does
now-
actually break everything.
His foot is vulnerable.
His foot, he stubs his toe. I can't believe we got this much time out of this. That lasted a lot more than I thought it was going
No, see,
to.
I told you. I told you. You can actually have some very interesting conversations about this because it's all video game presentation at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes these more granular discussions can be just kind of fun, you know? Like, we could do one for, like, boost gauges in the future.
Boost gauges. Just no boost gauge. I don't want to see it.
I'll tell you what, the worst fucking boost gauge for me is the Frontiers one, just because it's fucking in the middle of the screen.
I hate that. I
It's
use a
also
mod loader
just
code to turn
so-
that off. Just get it off screen.
It's so overtly like also just ripping off Breath of the Wild's
Yeah.
Blue
centimeter.
donut.
But when I first saw it, I thought, huh, is the person playing this on a PC and it's got something like loading in the background or something? Like, I thought it was the fucking Windows 10 loading wheel. Like, yeah, it looks really,
That's my
really
little
bad.
mouse cursor. It
I
says
think-
boost next to it because I got the better GPU.
The Unleashed heads-up display is the most hilariously 2008 thing I've ever seen in my life. It's all brushed metal, and in the boost energy thing, it's got like the italics writing and that sort of calculatory font. Like,
Yeah.
I love it when they tell you how fast you're going specifically because they just put arbitrary numbers in there to describe it. It's like I'm not going 500 miles an hour right now. Like, you don't know that.
I found it quite funny how, like, Frontiers has that speedometer thing on the right, like, how it, you know, ticks over. And I remember for the longest time, I would go up to Nick and be like, see, it does have momentum. Look at it build up.
It is so just a visual thing. Like, it's coded to go up like that when you hold
I
the
mean,
button down.
I set my acceleration to bottom anyway, so that he does have a gradual increase in speed, just because I prefer it that way. But, like, I mean, you boys, what are, like, your setups for, like, Sonic's controls in Frontiers?
Sorry, what was it about his controls? You cut out again.
Oh, for fuck. Let me check the Discord thing. Am I still good?
You're back now. You're fine.
Okay, good. What are your control setups like in Frontiers?
Oh, I have no idea.
I
I don't
set
know.
everything set to
It's been
max.
so long since I set them.
Damn. I try to kind of strive for a kind of momentum-y Sonic, in that, like, I keep the starting speeds low, the top speeds high, low acceleration, low deceleration. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head.
Well, damn. Damn.
I just playing the game. It's fun.
Alright, we'll move over to the super chats then, which I have to copy and paste into the thing because I haven't been very attentive today. So,
Yeah, it's alright.
let me do
You made
that.
all the tier lists. We appreciate that.
The tier list ends up being more fun than I expected, which I'm pleased about.
It was fun. I like it because of how like we could boil so many of those down to just personal preference. but there was like a good amount of discussion about like specific things, and I wasn't expecting to, like, me specifically, I was not expecting to have so many specific points that I was thinking about when it comes to this. Like, I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, he jumped good there.
In summation, what do you look for from a jump ball? Like, what do you want a jump ball to look like in Sonic?
What was in S tier? I like it when it looks like the Sonic Adventure one.
Yeah, I like it when you can see Sonic, but it also like retains the the ball kind of look to it, but also it should look fast. It should look like he's actually um like spinning around like super fast, not like Adventure 2 or like Lost World where you can't even like in Adventure 2 he's so slow, and then Lost World or like Frontiers or Forces you can't even really tell like what is going on in that ball, you know. So that's all I really
He could
want.
be doing anything in there.
Yeah, you could be playing chess.
Eating a big sandwich.
Oh, dude, he stores the ham sandwich on his person. He's able to. Can you imagine eating while rolling in a ball like that? Oh.
You wouldn't vomit, that's not how it works.
Do you think he gets sick ever? Or do you think he's just used to it now?
That would be something for like a Sonic prequel game, right? Like,
That's
having
a
like
mechanic.
getting to
He's gotta,
grips
like,
with his
learn how to spin.
powers, show him doing a spin dash for the first time and vomiting
It's
everywhere.
like Sonic in the MCU. They're like, hey, yeah, look at him, he's learning his shit. Like, you don't have to learn in the
it doesn't
movie,
even have to
he
be
just
like
did
actual vomit. It could be like rings. He vomits up rings the first time.
it. He would be dissected in like 4 seconds after that.
Damn. And okay, so all right, I've got all the super chats copied down now. I think. Oh, we got one more.
Okay.
One more in the time it took me to do that. Okay, so we'll do it table order. So that's Dylan reads one, I read one, then Mark. So we'll do it that way. Okay, so yeah, whichever super chat has a burger underneath it, that's the one we read. So Dylan, burger.
All right. First one from Sonic Fan 1661, $2. Pup's dementia so bad he forgot there's a stream.
I hate
you.
that this has become a recurring joke now.
I don't even remember. Maybe I have it because I don't remember why it started. Like, what was the specific trigger for that?
I think I forgot something really stupid on the show.
You like you forget something one time and now you have dementia.
Yeah,
That's
apparently
very-
that's the case. It's literal, and it's not even just like, oh, he's got short-term memory loss or anything. No, it's fucking dementia of all things.
It jumped right to the dementia. Yeah.
Fuck me. Thank you for the $2. Burger. So we got Mr. SP here with $3.08. Hey, Splash Dash. Weird question. How is LS Mark?
I don't know. Ask
We-
him.
We've done such a shitty job of maintaining that illusion this episode.
Mark is doing pretty good. He's uploading a video tomorrow, so stay tuned.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Can we
Very
get a
good.
little preview on what it's about?
It's about AI entrepreneurs.
Oh, okay. This is
AI
interesting.
entrepreneurs.
Like people who are trying to use AI to start up small businesses where it's like, oh, come, like I have an
Ooh.
Etsy store where I will like draw your pet for you and like send you a poster of it or like a framed like thing of it, and then they just put it into AI and then like shit it out.
Have you at any
Ugh.
point mentioned
That's lame.
Rufus?
Who's Rufus?
Rufus?
So Rufus, and he just goes by Rufus. I can't think of any other name for him. But he's a guy on Twitter who's trying to start up this AI cinematic universe and trying to prove that AI is like the future of cinema. And he's got these little shorts called The Scarlet Scourge, which feature a character called Princess Jane. And they just consist of her standing in front of a background, arms by the side, going, "Hello, I am Princess Jane, and today I am going to perform for you a magic trick."
I did see that. I remember that. Yeah, everyone was talking
Ugh.
about that for a while.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Like, I wait for those fucking things to come out, and I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, Princess Jane.
I didn't know he still made them.
Oh, he still makes them. My favorite ones are when he's like, you know, we're going to expand on the lore a little bit and show like a villain, and it's just a guy on a horseback. Horse isn't even moving or anything, and he's just like, the Scarlet
Is the
Scourge
horse
is going
moving?
down. But like, they recite the story. They don't actually do anything, and obviously the story is made up as it goes, but It proves to me that even if like AI was this future of cinema thing, you still need storytellers and actual artists, because what we've got with Rufus is a guy who is an alien from another planet who's never seen a human movie before in his fucking life, trying to make the AI cinematic universe, and it's come out so hilariously bad that I'm a fucking fan of it now. I want a Princess Jane t-shirt. Fuck it, you know?
All right. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. That's
Pretty
interesting. All right. So does that mean next?
Next up is Mark with Captain Cold Cuts. Burger.
Oh, sorry.
Captain, where is this?
There's a burger beneath it.
Oh,
It's in Super Chat mailbag.
Dude, I just highlighted it on my screen, like you could see it. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Hey, Split. Wait, didn't I treat that? Oh, sorry. It's the
Next
name
one.
first. You guys think Shadow Gens will have DLC/updates? No, I don't think so.
The thing
Like
is
one
basically
done.
a DLC.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's already going to be like, and in an ideal world, they would be releasing this with like Lost World Forces and Frontiers levels already like built in. But I don't see them doing DLC
Not until like the next like mainline thing, I guess.
for sure.
Later when they do Silver and Shadow and Sonic Generations, like 10 years from now.
It
That'll
took
be
us
the DLC.
It took us 13 years to get a Sonic Generations DLC.
What do you mean? You could play the pinball thing in Sonic Generations.
Oh,
That
I'm
was a DLC.
sorry. Yeah, that's a good point. That was amazing.
And you could didn't they also do the they added Sonic 1, like the classic, to the game? Can't you play that in like the Xbox version or something?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that wasn't a
you can- you
DLC.
can-
That was
you
just
can-
in it.
Yeah, you buy it in the shop, I think, that they have in the game.
Was that just
Yeah.
in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
True gaming.
I'm
Dylan.
wrong. I'm a bad gamer. Alright, let's see. Mr. Terry Chaos, €2. We've got Sonic 2. Okay, I see what you're saying. Sonic 2 Mecha Sonic Sawblade Ball is S tier. That's actually a good point. That one
I was gonna
pretty cool.
mention like that jump ball would fit perfectly for like a USA classic Sonic. With his
That's
little
like
mohawk.
have you ever seen that canceled Sonic SatAM prototype game?
I
And he
have.
like does that basically.
Yeah, because that was the thing is in like SatAM and shit. Like he didn't jump into a ball. He turned into like a buzzsaw.
Yeah, he do the buzzsaw. Yeah.
Much more violent.
That was cool. Yeah, you could slice Robotnik right in half like a deli counter sandwich.
I don't know why he didn't. Why do you think he's missing an arm? Burger. Sonic fans.
That's a good point.
1661 sends $2. To be fair, liking Sonic is a prerequisite for autism. Well, that's going to get clipped out of context, isn't it?
Thanks for that one, Sonic fan.
All right, Mark, you're up.
So, we're on Sonic
Ooh,
Fan
Mr.
16619.
No, you it's
no,
the one with the
Terry
burger
Chaos.
beneath it. Yeah.
Sorry, there's two Sonic Fan 1661 chats in here, so I was like,
Yeah.
looking around, like, did you read that?
He's very
Pup
generous.
likes auras
They're
and
twins.
hasn't watched Dragon Ball Z.
I know. There's a lot of things where it would make so much sense for me to tune into Dragon Ball Z. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I procrastinate a lot when it comes to trying anything new, and I have ADHD, I
understandable.
guess. I don't know. But yeah, I will at some point, Terry. I promise. I promise. I think I'm going to start off with Dragon Ball Z Kai, just to, you know, as I've heard that's a good entry point. Porker.
All right, another one from Sonic Fan 1661, $2. Wouldn't be a Sunset City episode without bugs.
Now we need like a bug
True.
background. We need like little cockroaches or something.
Oh, that would make people want to come to the show.
It's fucking
Yeah, you got a
hell,
little cockroach
Dylan.
that runs across the
Word
screen
that
every so often.
differently.
Okay, I worded it fine. It's just
That
you.
would make
That's
people
your
want to
problem.
come to the show.
But I didn't segment my words.
It was
like
the way
that.
you
did
said
that.
come, dude. There was such a U in there. That was not a C-O-M-E. That was a C-U-M.
I don't know. I think out loud they're the same exact pronunciation. But
They're not. There's like, hey, Santa
I
Claus is
think
coming.
they're
You know,
what is
like,
it?
Santa
what
Claus
is
is
it
coming.
called?
There's also Santa Claus is coming. You know, like, there's like, you know?
I didn't say it like that though.
You were like, people will come to this podcast.
Literally replay the scene. Replay it.
I'm not
I
replaying
guarantee
it. I can't fucking replay it.
you. Instant replay, please.
Mark, do you have any opinions on this? Did you hear him say "come"?
I did not personally. I don't know. I think you're kind of gaslighting.
No.
That's kind of Pup's entire identity. He just gaslights.
No, I don't.
You do it like every time I talk to you, dude.
Shut up, Dylan. You cheated on your girlfriend.
He's doing it again. Look at him.
Borker.
I didn't do that.
Okay, so Twilord sends €5. Help! I've been roboticized, and I still didn't get the job with the Eggman Empire. Did you try sending in an updated resume? That might do it. And, Mark, we got one more here.
This is Twilord, who says, would you rather Shadow Unleashed, Shadow Colors, or for Shadow 3 to be the second and Knuckles game? S3 and Cat 2, all starring my beloved Dad Doom.
Would I rather Shadow Unleashed, Shadow Colors, or Shadow 3 for the second Shadow and Knuckles? That's actually a good question, though.
Shadow 3, probably.
I'm gonna say Shadow
I'd
Unleashed.
like something new.
Actually, no, Shadow 3,
Like
yeah.
Shadow Unleashed. I would like a new Shadow game, but a Shadow Unleashed showing what he was doing while the world was like fucked makes a lot of sense. Because
Just thinking about when he's gonna jump into
game.
the core of the earth.
He's gonna go fist fight Perfect, whatever his name is, Perfect Archaea again.
He could do it without going super.
Probably, but he doesn't have the emeralds or anything, so that could be a problem.
Doesn't need him. All right, well,
Depends, I guess.
the episode is over, and now,
All right.
skeleton time. So Mark, what are you getting up to, man?
Right now I am working on a video about Sonic Mania for Splash Dash. And I got a video coming out tomorrow. Also working on a big video for my main channel that will come out in a couple of weeks. And that's about it. That's about it. I got my own podcast called Meeting Halfway on podcast listening sites and YouTube. So go check that out, I guess. And
Hell yeah.
that's about it.
What about this animated pilot? Because I remember last time you were on here, you mentioned that you were working on like a pilot.
Oh yeah, it's almost done. It's like
Cool.
four scenes from like adding the lighting to being done, and then so I'm hoping around summertime this year.
Well, hell yeah.
It's really exciting.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've
It's-
seen like the little bits of the
It's
animation.
super
And
cool.
it looks so good so far. Like,
Thanks.
Dylan, what are you up to?
Well, before that, I also wanted to say, I know you did like you watched every episode of. Did you do the Family Guy one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I wanted to say stuff like that is like so impressive to me because there's no way I could ever sit down and watch that much shit and then like have a coherent thought about it. So
Yeah,
hats off to
yeah.
that. Like that's insane.
Thanks.
Let's see. I released a video today, like an hour ago. It's about a Silver the Hedgehog game that I found. It's like an old ass 2008 fan game, and I'd never seen it before, so I wanted to do a little talk about it. So that's out now. If you guys want to see it,
Hell
on
yeah.
on my thing, my channel.
Actually, I'll put
Pup,
a
what are you
little-
doing?
I'm right now just getting a link to that video to put it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm also working on a little video about I mean, this isn't really relevant to Sonic, but there's been a lot of controversy surrounding some things Zack Snyder said about Batman that are being taken out of context, and I think it's important that we have a level-headed conversation about that kind of thing. So that's kind of a video that I'm working on right now. But I'm also still working on Speeding Ticket, getting more animation done, rigging up some new characters. It's a pain in the ass, and I'm learning on the job, but it's going quite well so far. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Good. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these previews, and I think I was gonna say it last week, but we were talking about other stuff. The previews Pup showed me for his little Sonic fan film, like I've seen the progress. Like he's learning as he goes, and like from the first previews to the ones that are more recent, it's like night and day.
Oh, thanks,
Like,
man.
he's really killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Learning Blender on the job. There's Dylan's latest video, guys. Putting it in the chat now. There you go. All right then. Well, so concludes another episode of Sunset City. Say bye, everybody.
See ya.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. See you soon.
Get out.